Hi guys, welcome back. Today I am going to work on day 8. So do not do this step unless you have been approved for all of the previous steps and you have a grade for each of the previous steps. Otherwise you're getting a 0 for those steps if you move along without an approval. It's really important. If you screw up and you keep going, it's just going to compound the mess up. So you have to adjust as you go. All right, so today I'm working with the drawing I've been working. So we did a little bit of value in the mouth and the eyes on the last step. Today we're gonna work on the nose a little bit. As you noticed, I moved inside again. One of the main reasons is outside, it was great. You could see what I was doing really well, but I didn't have any shadows really because the light was so diffused. So I came back in here and I did put a light up there to work with. I don't expect you to have that. If you're working in your bathroom or whatever lighting you have is fine. But out there I had absolutely, it was just flat, even light. So I couldn't really do much with my shading. So that's what I'm dealing with today. I have to work with today. I have an HB, a 4B, and a 6B pencil. If you only have one pencil, that's fine. I have my white eraser. I have my kneaded eraser. I grabbed a Q-tip, not to clean my ear, and I have a tissue. So these are the things that I have to work with when I'm doing value, but it's up to you whether you like working with any of those tools. As I've told you all a couple times, I don't really care to blend that much. So I might just use a Q-tip in smaller areas. All right, I'm going to get up close to the mirror, and I'm now looking at my nose. And from what I can see from here, this part on my nose is very angular. It's almost like a 90-degree angle. So it kind of stops right here. There's a very distinct line that goes across the tip, and that's a shadow. And I'm going to put that in. And once I get that in, that's going to really show that my nose is coming out at you. Another thing I notice are these shadows here in these little dimples in the side of my eyes, and I'm going to get those in there too. And I'm going to do it lightly. I'm holding my pencil like a wand as usual. I'm not going to go gorilla. You guys are really, really pressing deep. While I'm doing this, I see that the hood of my nostril might come out more than I have it. So I'm going to clean that up a little bit. You're going to adjust as you go along here. I still don't know where I found this thing, but I love it. So I'm just going to work on that and putting in these values that I see. So the main ones are the ones on the side, which I'm going to put in right there. And then the one that hits the bottom of the nose. And it doesn't hit it evenly on the bottom, and I'll show you what I mean by that in a minute. So let me get some of these side shadows in. And that's building my hoods a little bit. That's why I'm saying I realize now that I might have to come out a little bit further for my hoods. Now on this side, the light kind of changes right here. It ends right there. So I'm only putting it up to there as far as the shadow. And then this one, it really has a dimple in there. This is hard to do holding up my paper and trying to draw it at the same time. All right, I'm going to concentrate on the one at the top, and I'm noticing the distance from the very tip of my nostril to where the dark mark goes. And I don't think I have it going up high enough, so I'm going to move it up a little bit higher. And then I'm going to try to evenly place it. And there's a lot of highlights too. The highlights are really going to help develop the shape of your nose. And I'll show you what I mean. So right now I'm just covering the bottom of my nose with that shadow I see. And you can see already it's starting to push the nose out a little bit. Now I also have a shadow underneath it because I have this strong light over me. So I'm going to put that in too. And I'm just going to put that in quickly because I can fix that later. And it kind of goes over here. I'm acknowledging the fact that it doesn't go straight down, it goes up and down. And then once I get that in, I can go find my even darkers. So the hoods where it connects to my face, this part right here, it's a little bit darker. So I'm going to put that in. And it kind of touches the bottom of it. On the other one, same thing. It's a little darker right there. And we know that this is the darkest spot, the nostril, because it's a flat out hole in your head. So it's got to be the darkest spot. I have a little divot right in the middle of the bottom of my nose. And then it gets lighter on these nostrils right there. I guess because it's kind of reflecting the light. I went a little crazy here. I don't know why. Okay, so it's kind of reflecting the light right under here, this part. So I'm not going to hit that as dark as I hit the other areas, especially this little kind of V that goes down between my nose. And this V doesn't go all the way down either, but I just made it go all the way down, so I'm going to adjust it. So it's all adjusting. I've been sending you guys pictures of your features that I've been working on from the, oh here, the Cupid's bow. I'm going to put that in. It's a little bit darker on this side because of the way the light is. And this shadow is darker on this side. So I'm just looking, just like when you were doing your gridded value drawings, find your darks, find your lights. Remember when I keep going, you got to go darker here, you got to go lighter here. That's what you're looking for. And that's going to start to build up the planes of the face. All right, so you can see this nose is starting to pop out a little bit. So up here, my nose gets kind of like a round ball on the end. And then this shadow is very, very light. And it kind of builds into this darker shadow down here. But again, they're all different. They're all different values. This is real dark here along the outside of this nostril into that little dimple. And then this is kind of soft. Now the lightest area is probably right here is where my highlight is on my nose. My skin's not white. I know it's pretty pasty, but I'm not white. So I'm going to put value everywhere. It's just going to be very, very light value where there isn't a shadow. And where there's a highlight, I'll leave it white. It's kind of right down, goes away kind of here, but comes back on the bridge of my nose. Again, it's very subtle coming down till it gets to here, and then it's very dark. Now I can always go back in with erasers and pull out more lights if I get too dark in certain areas. Yeah. But otherwise, I'm just working and going in, reworking it, trying to figure it out. It's constant. This is not a quick process. That's why some of you are pretty impatient. Okay, we'll just keep building it a little bit. Darker and lighter, darker and lighter. Push, push and pull. That's all we keep doing. Now your nostrils, even though you can see them as some kind of shape, whether they're a circle, mine are kind of triangular, they don't just form that and that's the end. They form it, the darkest area is going to be up here, right at the edge where the light hits it. And then down here, it doesn't just end, it kind of fades out at the bottom as the light is curving into it. We're fleshy, remember? Yeah, I definitely need to I'm going to have to get an X-Acto blade, I think, so that I can go in there and pull out my nostrils a little bit. I wonder if I can pause this. Okay, good, I could pause it. So I'm gonna get my X-Acto blade. Actually, I have a box cutter. I don't know where my X-Acto blade is. And I'm slicing off a piece of this eraser so that I have a very fine line. And then I can go back in and I can look at the areas where I think I really need to pull something out, like on the sides of my hoods. And I can just pull them out a little bit with this tiny piece of eraser. Remember I said you should think of erasers not as much as something to fix your mistake, but as a tool. So that's what I'm doing right here. And same on this side. The sides of my nostrils are very bright right now because of the way the light is hitting them. All right, so my nose isn't the best nose in the world, but what can I say? It's my nose. Let me finish this up a little bit. So work on this. This is probably going to be, I don't want to say the most difficult part for you, but the most foreign, because I don't want to see lines in your nose when you're done, okay? We don't have lines in our nose. So you're really going to have to work on that, trying your best to make sure that you're using value to define your structure and not actual lines. This isn't a contour drawing, we're doing a full value drawing. So your lines should be your values should be as dark as your lines so that we no longer see them, okay? All right, some of you have been sending stuff too. If that helps you a lot, let me know, I'll keep doing it. If it doesn't help you at all, tell me that. Yeah. So I would just keep going back and forth on this. This is all I would do for the nose. Where I have this, where I said this is a line, it's going to come down darker. Again, notice where I'm sitting. I'm sitting smack in front of a mirror. A lot of you are doing this stuff without looking in a mirror, and I can tell. I don't know who the hell you're drawing sometimes, but it's not you. All right, now that I'm sitting here, I have more value in my mouth, so I'm just going to put some of that in because we had the time. And it's because of the way the light's hitting it. It's causing a distinct shadow on my lip. So there's this shadow from the top lip now that's on my bottom lip. This is even darker. This top lip is even darker, all just because of a change of light. So keep that in mind where you're working. Once you change things up, you're going to end up having a different thing. So try to keep it consistent, because if I were to not have made these adjustments at the mouth and to have such strong shadows on the nose, it might look a little strange. Like I now have this more pronounced down here. A little bit of light changes everything. Okay. Ooh. All right. So that's all we're going to do now. For day 9, we will go ahead and put some more value into the eyes. Remember, the whites of the white aren't that white all the way through. They have certain highlighted areas and certain areas like the corners that get darker so that it looks like it's going back. We also have the shadow underneath the top lip. So that's for the next step. Go ahead, if you have been approved to do this step, go ahead and do it, and I'll catch you again a little bit later.